Python Dev Warrior, back again, back with another video. Good to see you again. Welcome back, everybody. So in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to create a linked list from an input array or input list. In this video, we'll be creating a linked list from an array. So I'm going to add on to the file we used last time. We're going to import the node characteristic from last time, the same singly linked list node class. So we're going to pick up where we did last time. We have last video we created a linked list from 3 nodes, and we created a function to do this, and then we traversed that linked list. Now we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to create a new function, and we're going to input an array. So I have an array here of 0, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to create the linked list from the array, then we're going to return the head variable, and then we're going to traverse through the head to traverse the new linked list. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is create the head node. So the head node is going to be the first node. It's going to be the first element in the array. We're just going to do it sequentially. We're not worried about sorting or anything like that. So the first node is going to be array of 0. We're going to set head equal to temp. The reason I didn't do this and do head comma temp equals node. Let's see if I can do it. Node comma node is because we want to point to the same data. We don't want to point to a new node for head. We want to point to the same temp node. Okay, and then we're going to need to increment as we go along because it's a array or a list in Python. So we're going to have an incrementer, and we already created the node at list position 0. So here we're going to have an incrementer. We're going to set to 1, and now we're going to go through the list. So while I is not equal to none, let's do the length of the array. So as long as we're not at the end of the array, we're going to go through the array. So what do we need to do? What we really need to do is create a node for each value in the array. So we have the head node. We have temp set at node array 0. So now we need something new. So we need a new node for each element after that. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the next variable. Well, we need node of array I. So we need node of array I. So we're going to go array I and then increment each time across. So let's see if this works. It should run as expected, and yes, it does. Okay, so we're creating a new node at each point, but we need to link those nodes because it's a linked list after all. So what we can do is we can use our temp variable, which we're going to change in a minute, and we're going to set next. So what we can do is look at that temp variable. We can set the next. So for housekeeping, I'm going to print something here. I'm going to print temp dot get data, and then we're going to print temp dot next dot set next. Actually, it's get next. So we run that, and we get the node at next. And let's say temp dot get next dot get data. So we want to get the data at that node. Okay, so we ended up getting the. Oh, I see what happened here. Temp.getData. So what we're doing is we're incrementing the I, but what we're doing is that we're creating the node with value of 1, and we're setting it so temp we're saying temp next is the new node, but we keep creating new nodes. So 0 points to 1, but then when we increment I again and we're in the while loop, 0 goes to 2 and 0 goes to 3. So this isn't right. We need to set temp equal to temp.next. So we need to increment through the linked list as we're creating it. Temp dot get next. So this is similar to what we did in the traverse linked list, while we said temp equals temp dot get next, while temp is not equal to none. So we're incrementing along the linked list as we go. So if we do this, oh, we get an error. None type has no attribute get data. Let's figure this out on the fly. Temp dot get next dot get data. Oh, because the last one doesn't have a next. That's why. Okay, so we get temp is 3, and that's because we're at the end of the list and we've gone through each one. So for even better housekeeping, we can look at each node that gets selected. Temp dot get data and print that. Yep, so we get 1, 2, and 3. So we have 0 points to 1, 1 points to 2, and 2 points to 3. And what we're going to do is we're going to return, but remember when I said we wanted to set head equal to temp, but we didn't want it to be, we wanted it to be the same data? Well, that's where it comes in handy here, because if we return temp, we're just going to get 3. We're going to get the tail end of the linked list, but we want the head of the linked list. So we're going to return head. Okay, so we return head, and we should get nothing. There's no output. But now if we traverse the linked list, we call a traverse linked list function with head of 2. There we go. So we get 0, 1, 2, and 3, and each one points to the one before. And one other thing I want to add is that on the very last step, we want temp dot set next. So we want the last variable 3, last value 3, to point to none. So there's no node there. And there we go. Yep, so that's a live coding of how to create a linked list from an array. Thank you. All right, that's it for this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.